Hi everyone, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're joining from. My name is Trustin Yokore. I'm from the GDG Aba team, and it is a very great pleasure and delight to welcome you this evening here in Nigeria for a live chat with Fruitful Paul. It's always a delight to spotlight talent, young talents in the community who have been doing well, who are doing well, to encourage them, and of course to get to know how they started, especially as young as Paul Fruitful is. So let me bring Paul Fruitful on stage. Hi, Fruitful. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Fantastic. So we are live currently on our Facebook channel and of course on the YouTube channel for GDG Aba. So it's
Okay.
been a very, I think it's almost a year since we got to know each other, courtesy of Josh Connection at DevFest 2021. When I
Yes.
first asked about your name, you said fruitful, and then talked about your stack. But introduce yourself briefly to the community and what you do, how old you are, and when you started. Then we can start from there.
Okay. I'm a profound software developer. I started back in 2017. That was when I was first introduced to web development and software development, and I focused more on building realistic solutions to solve lasting problems in the world. So that's a brief explanation of who I am.
All right. I mean, there's been lots of eyebrows when the text alongside this particular live section said you are about to be 15 next month, and
Yes,
you
yes.
have been in tech for a long time. So how, I mean, being so young, at what age you actually starting to or come into tech?
Okay, I was introduced to tech in 2017. Then I was 10 years old. But because my birthday was on October 24th, so I started on an August. So I was 9 before I was 9 and I was introduced to tech. So it was a rigorous process. Like some those days, with some things they showed me were confusing me, and I felt like, what is this stuff? Weird symbols. And the funny thing that the first after teaching me HTML and CSS, because I was able to learn those ones fast. I learned it in about 1 month and some weeks. They introduced me to PHP, and that language confused me and scared me to death. Like things I saw, errors I saw, and my teacher was so good in it that I was like, how can I ever be like this? And a 9-year-old kid that is still in which class was I in? I think I was in either grade 5 or JS1. So it looked so confusing, and man, I had to stay strong. And some of the children that followed me, some of the children that were in that set with me, some of them dropped out. Many of them. I think it's only two of us that is remaining. So that's just a brief explanation of how I started tech. I was introduced to
Fantastic.
program.
Yeah, fantastic. So was the class here in about?
No, I was actually in Port Harcourt, but I relocated to Aba in 2019.
Okay,
Yes, I was actually
2019.
yes, yes.
Oh, fantastic. I knew that the first time I got in contact with your school was when Josh, invited me to speak at your school during the Future is Tech
Yeah,
section. Yeah.
yes.
So
That
that time
was
you're
a
in the
one. Yeah, I was in SS2 then. That was SS2 first term. And that day was a remarkable day because that year I got two laptops and the two of them were faulty and I couldn't even practice. Laptops were my problem. I couldn't all the things I was learning, nowhere to practice, and it got me depressed. But that day was a remarkable day because he hosted a competition in my school and I won the laptop. And immediately a light switch was just turned on. And if you could track from that November last year, you see that I became more active on GitHub than ever before. So that day was like a life changing day for me.
I can't remember. I mean, Josh said we have one winner, for the competition that was held then, and his name was Josh. That made sense, right? I mean, his name was Fruitful actually, and that made sense. And
Yes,
so he now reached out to see if he can be part of the GDG Aba community for other growth and mentorship section. And you attended DevFest last year, right? So how would you say your
yes.
experience was?
Oh, my experience at DevFest was awesome. It was awesome to see that Aba has developers too, and I networked with many of them, and they improved me, and I improved some of them. So it was an awesome experience, and I keep on wishing that it keeps on continuing for ages because it's going to help the younger generation. And because we had this stereotype that tech is for people above 20 years, and but when I got to DevFest, I saw young people in tech. I got encouraged networking with the right people. It improved me too. It boosted my skills. So my experience at DevFest was so awesome and remarkable.
Fantastic. So let's get to the technical part of things, right? So you are a software engineer, right? I know you did mention you have experience with web. So what
Yes.
currently do you do in the software space? What do you code exactly? What language have you learned so
Okay.
far?
Okay. If we start running down from 2017, in 2017, the three languages I worked with was HTML, CSS, and PHP. 2018, the same thing. But at the ending of 2018, my teacher brought another teacher who was efficient with Java, and she taught us Java. But to be very honest, I've forgotten everything about Java because I never practiced it. And Java looked, the only thing I can remember in Java is public static void. That's the only thing I can remember in Java. So in 2019, I started JavaScript, and it looks simpler, and it's made creating web applications easier for me. So after JavaScript, then 2020 was when I got a job. One of my uncles gave me a job that exposed me to new set of skills like SEO. And it was in that year that I learned about Python and started working on Python. But my problem that year was that I didn't really have a system to practice with that much. Most of them were faulty. So I was managing 2021, between 2020, ending of 2020 and beginning of 2021. I saw ethical hacking and the rest of it, and I got interested in it and enthusiastic about it, and I learned its core concepts and how it works. And I just discovered I picked up a part in ethical hacking that was like malware development. Why I liked it was that it made me reverse engineer my projects. Like, like there was one project I did that time in malware development that it fills up your storage and crashes your computer. When I remembered before I started that project, I remembered years ago when I was using while loops. So I implemented that while loop structure in that code, making a while loop that runs forever and creates new files every second. So doing that, it crashes computers and systems in seconds too if they don't have a large RAM. So that was 2021. So 2022, between 2021 August and now, I discovered about DSA, data structures and algorithms, and I kept learning them and getting more proficient. So right now, excellent. I have expert knowledge of three languages: JavaScript, PHP, and Python.
Fantastic. I know that I was following your Facebook page and of course your WhatsApp updates, and you did mention a few projects you've done. I saw
Yes.
the what's it called? It was the I think that was like recharge card generator or something like that.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
can you talk to me about that? Was
Okay.
Python, right?
Yes, that was Python. So what happened was that because I like imagining and I like expanding my thoughts on a certain structure. So I saw randomization in Python. And what they were using randomization is to count numbers, maybe create a random number between 1 and 1,000. So I now thought that can't I use this randomization and randomize recharge cards? So I bought three recharge cards and I looked at each of them and I saw that wait, these ones they have a similar pattern. They head the beginning of the first digits are the same. Then in the middle there is a certain range. So I used that randomization, I implemented it, I used it to generate digits according to the serialization of the cards. So that was how I was able to create the recharge card generator.
But not that
That
those
was
are not real flashcards, right? But just like to learn a few concepts.
yes.
Now, are there any other project you've done similar to that, or maybe more than that?
Okay, another project I did was an OSINT related project, open source information. I've forgotten the end of the abbreviation, but it was an OSINT related project that scans an image, gets the location of where the image was taken, and redirects you to Google Maps and show you where that image was taken. So, and I created the counter of that project, an anti of that same project that accesses an image and clears the data, that data that provides the location. I created an application that does the opposite of it, clears the image data, remove the location so that people's image can be saved on the digital world.
That's a Python too, or is that just a PHP?
Oh, that was Python.
Okay, have you done any PHP or JavaScript?
Yes, I've not really done significant JavaScript projects, but I've done some projects with PHP. It's more of web apps like a library management system, a real estate management system, a job listing application, and there was one I recently did, an investment tracking app with PHP. Those were the current projects I did with PHP. But JavaScript, I've not really done significant things with it. Yes.
All right. In all these projects you've done, have anyone been paid for? Like you've paid for this project?
Yes. The investment tracking app, someone paid for it, and I had to recustomize it to suit his own company. So that was one of the toughest projects I've done because I got a lot of errors and I was confused in the way and in the house I was developing it. But with sleepless nights, I was able to break through with the project and I sold it to the guy and he's using it currently using it right now.
Oh, you sold it.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. That was like the investment platform.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. So I'm looking at your profile right now, and your profile says you have 5 years experience. So at what time did you start
Yes.
calculating years?
By what time? Pardon me, please.
As at what time and what year did you begin calculating the 5 years experience from? So is it from 2017 to now 5 years, or what did you when did you start calculating your
Uh,
5 years?
I started putting that 5 years experience. I started counting it from 2017 because in 2017 I already started doing projects, but they were more front end focused projects. It was in 2018 I started back end focused projects and I combined both of them together. But from 2017, I started creating simple landing pages, simple web pages, and simple applications like a calculator and the rest of them. That was my beginning stage. Then 2018, I started picking up. In 2019, I went to schools with my teacher to train other children like me on how to use um, tools like Scratch, taught them how to design a responsive web pages with HTML and CSS. And it was a 1 month training experience and it helped me grow my skills too. So, and in 2020, that was during the coronavirus, I didn't really have paid jobs. I did not even have any paid job. The only jobs I did that year, the only two, I did two jobs that year. One was for my uncle and one was for my second uncle. So it was more like a full job. But those jobs exposed me to a new variety of skills and it improved me today.
Fantastic. You said something very catchy. You've trained other people too, like young people like you also.
Yes, 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 but I wasn't alone. I was with my teacher, and she was guiding me on how to teach the children because teaching is a skill on its own too. Ability to communicate and show someone how to do things the way you do them in the right way. So she assisted me and I was able to pick up and teach some students. Though some students did not grab it, but some grabbed it. But I think that most of them have dropped it by now because programming is very confusing and not everybody has the patience to wait for it to click. So that's
Yeah. So why
basically.
what have you not dropped? What has made you continue this far?
Oh, what has made me continue this far? Yes, the hope for a better future. Building a better future. The hope for building a better future is what has made me continue. Like I was planning a certain solution that puts an end to electronic fraud, that's digital fraud, and it wasn't really easy. Like I was thinking, like, is this thing really realistic? Can it improve the future? But when I saw this AI, open AI, and some AI is created from it, an AI that can draw more than better than a human being, I was like, nothing is impossible. No idea is impossible. No idea is unrealistic. You can make it a reality. So that's as what has kept me here, and I believe that I'm going to do more in the future.
Yeah, fantastic. So there are usually three parts. I usually break down the career parts of code, those who are coding, into three particular parts.
Mm,
Yeah, and so one is those who want to be freelancers. Second is those who want to be white collar developers. They want to get jobs in development. And the third are software entrepreneurs, right? So which category do you are right now, or where are you heading to? Are you a
okay.
freelancer right now? Are you
Um,
looking for a job, or you want to be a position? No.
yes, I'm a freelancer right now, and I'm looking for jobs that wouldn't affect my studies. That's what, because I'm in SSG and I'll be out of SSG by next year August, I believe. So I'm currently looking for part-time jobs, but I still work as a freelancer. But when I'm done with my secondary school, I'm going to move into the software entrepreneurship. Yes, create SaaS products and start startups to solve real world problems and not practicals. Coming to solve real world problems here.
Yeah, fantastic. Reward problem. That's actually where it actually is right now. Talking about SaaS, right? I can remember. I may be wrong though, but there was a time I saw you share an update on Facebook. They are building a product. I was it a DM on WhatsApp? Wasn't where exactly was that? Like you're really trying to build a product right now, right?
Mm, I'm still trying to remember. I can't really remember. I shared. What was the name of the product?
I can't remember. I know there was a WhatsApp status. There was some updates I shared about building products, and you replied that you are working on something. I can't remember the exact WhatsApp
Okay.
content for
Yes.
like.
Okay. I'm trying to remember, but I think that that was when I was trying, planning, and strategizing to build that anti-e fraud. I think that was then because I
The
planned to
IT
make it
one.
an anti-e fraud, like an
Okay.
app or a software that prevents people from getting scammed online and making deals to be secured. The app is supposed to act like a middleman between the buyer and the seller. So it does the work of an escrow in online transactions, and it can make instead, if you look at e-commerce platforms like Alibaba and Amazon, Jumia, we discovered they have inbuilt anti-fraud systems. But I want to make it that anyone can use it, that you can bring your external transaction and transact with the app and still feel secured. That was the aim of the app. But it's really tough, but I'm going to go back to it after I finish with secondary school. Then I'll have more time to work on it.
All right. Fantastic. That sounds right. Right. So you're having like a final look on your profile, and you're under my services, right? Okay. Then let me go from let's start from skills. All right. So from The skills, of course, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, there's React, there's PHP, Laravel, there is Python, all right. My services, there is, so out of this, PHP, JavaScript, Python, which is like your stronghold.
PHP, JavaScript, Python. Well, I can't really choose between all of them, but I think PHP is first, Python second, and JavaScript third. That's from the from how much time I use each of them. But when I'm solving coding problems like nursery or just this dynamic competitive programming stuffs, I use Python most times because Python is easier to use to solve it. But when I'm building things like applications, I use PHP. But when I'm trying to make my front end services responsive and make it dynamic, I use JavaScript. So that's how I use the three of them. But to me, Python and PHP are my main strongholds. Like I can't do with those two without those two. But JavaScript I can do without it. I don't really
So that I
struggle
can
with those.
be like a back-end person.
Um, yes. I prefer back end development to front end development because that's where the complexity lies. And if you look at the structure of human beings, our minds like exploring complex things. So I prefer back end development because that's where the foundation of every app is built on. The front end is just like a cake icing on the actual cake. So
Yeah.
that's like
All right, fantastic. So I was scrolling down to my services, right? So you have web development, you have solution
yes,
development, SEO,
yes,
penetration
yes,
testing, and idea implementation, and business strategizing. All right.
yes.
So my interest is in the penetration testing. I've seen you do a few things, about this particular area. So what kind of services? So you render web development solutions, SEO, penetration testing. Which of them would you say is also your stronghold?
Web development. I take penetration testing more like a hobby. Like it's not a profession, it's more like a hobby, like an extra skill. Like if I want to entertain myself that night, I'm bored out of coding, I use penetration testing and look at which web app is vulnerable. Or test big companies like Netflix, Amazon to check maybe I may be lucky today and there may be a vulnerability and I can exploit it. So penetration testing is more like my hobby than a profession. Well, web development is my stronghold. Like that's where I'm based on web development and solutions development.
After when you say exploit, of course you mean like in a good way, not that, yeah?
Yes, yes, not actually bad, just to get attention. Is like what are you going to gain from exploiting? What are you going to gain from exploiting Amazon? You can't steal money. That's going to be illegal. And you are going to get arrested just to get attention, and you can be paid heavily in bulk bounty for
The
finding that
bounties,
vulnerability.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So that makes
exploiting
sense.
for fun, yes,
All right, fantastic. That's quite impressive. All right, so moving forward, you're heading to. So you said currently in school, and you're looking
yes.
for the roles that will not interfere with your school, right? So after your school, you are looking to be a software entrepreneur, try to build solutions and like SaaS platforms and that. Is that correct?
Yes, 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 yes.
Fantastic.
That's
I mean, do you have any people who are like, sorry, go ahead. You're about to explain
okay.
something.
No, no, no.
Okay, do you have any other young people like you, your age mates, or people who are like close to you who are also doing what you're doing?
Okay. Most of the people that are in the same age bracket with me, I usually meet them online, and they are not really physically close to me, but they are doing amazing stuffs, and I would love to work with them to create realistic solutions that end real world problems. And there are many of them, they're in thousands, but they are struggling with getting the right equipment to work with. And that's one of my major goals next year. to start up a program to sponsor developers who are struggling to get the right equipment. Yes, and the name of the project will be DevEquip. So I
Dev
plan of starting. Yes, I plan on starting it next year once I'm done with secondary school.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so talk about challenges. All right. So what challenges did you yourself face? All right, 'cause I think I might have skipped
Okay,
that part.
yes. The challenges I faced was one, first off, I thought that when I am good in programming. I can create web applications. It will be easy for me to get a job and the rest of that I was told at the beginning. But it wasn't easy. I even waited years before even actually getting a paid job, and the job was even short term. And another thing is that people underestimating you. Like one project I got from someone, he was like, an elderly person did this and he couldn't get it. So what makes you a small child, what gives you the confidence as a small child that you are going to be able to complete it? And at the end of the day, I completed it and he was surprised and he gave me his accolades, but he depressed me at the beginning. And the third problem I faced was actually getting a real job in a company. Like there was one company, even it was like last month, I passed their interview process and they went on and asked me my age and I told them I'm 14. I was thinking, well, they'll be excited, but they just broke my heart by telling me I'm not up to the legal age of working. Like I got heartbroken and it was really painful. I was like, wow, it's like this my age is a disadvantage. So that age was one of the major problems I faced. Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, in some countries, you have to be 18 and above to get legally employed and paid,
Yes.
right? Other people would also want to have you on board, but they want like a parent or someone that can stand in for you and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's 15, 16, 17, 18, damn, that's like 4 years to 18 or less than that. Well, I mean, we'll definitely find ways to, to break those challenges as needs may be. That is why I mean the SaaS approach makes sense. So even though they don't hire you, I can still at least be solving one or two problems. Of course, get your name out there and then see what happens from
Yeah.
there. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Do you have any other comments? We're about to wrap it up.
Okay, yes, I have a comment. Like, I discovered that most people get into tech because they feel like this is the fastest way to escape poverty. But it's not. It's even one of the hardest ways to escape poverty because you end up trapped in the loop of patience. And if you're not patient enough, the day that the day that the blessing you wanted to come came, but you dropped out so
Yeah,
quickly because you felt that because in most boot camps they advertise learn 1 month, 2 months, become a professional software developer, get a job at a company, blah blah blah, and at the end of the day you finish, you may pay 20,000, 30,000, and once you're done you don't get any job, you get frustrated and depressed. And sometimes after the boot camp, you did not even grab any security content. So you lost on both ends, and it makes people get frustrated with tech and programming, coding, development in tech because they felt like we have been lied to, we have been duped. This thing is not really real. That it's just some people that are lucky. So when the advice I'll give to anybody is that everybody must not be in tech. You just have to find the passion for it to be in it, and you don't expect to get instant cash immediately you join it. If not, you're going to stumble and get depressed and stumble into real depression and heartbreak because at times some people learn it, they couldn't get a job and they couldn't even learn it. Like they couldn't grab anything from it, so they wasted time when they had actual passions and they couldn't chase it. So the main lesson there is that chase your passions and focus on your dreams. You don't just follow the crowd because everybody's in tech. You don't have to be in it. So
yeah,
that's the advice.
yeah. You've done so well, Paul Faithful. I'm really happy to have you on this call. Right. So speaking about meeting other people, so that first again will happen this year. On November 3rd. So looking at it maybe much bigger than the last time you attended. All right. So looking at bringing people who actually code, those who don't code but in tech, those are looking forward to being in tech, right? So everyone will definitely be on board. on December
Yeah.
3rd. So that will
Yeah.
definitely be on track. Of course, people are seeing this video from different places. We'll definitely get to share your stories and support the
Yeah.
base where we can, depending when you get done from secondary school. So when you begin your
Yeah.
project, the equip part.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you begin
Um.
your project, go ahead.
Okay. There was nothing I wanted to actually say. So go ahead.
All right. So when you're about to begin, the Dev Equip project, please, don't forget to holler like DMs and see how we can support and the
Okay.
community from afar and beyond. Then find a way to move around it.
Okay. No
All right. So
problem.
I'm comments now. So people joined from Facebook and joined from YouTube. So this is you can see that, yeah. So I'm getting the name currently. This is from Precious. So Precious is saying, age can never be a limitation to your greatness. You keep going places, right? Focus. All right. So that's about the age. All
Thank
right.
you.
So
Yes.
this is from Anderson Jabi Kim. You spoken like me. Everyone's not being tech, else we won't have bus drivers carriers where we're going, right? So I mean, it's all about understanding that tech is the future, but not going in tech actually, but like knowing how tech can help and use tech. That's like the actual message here, right? And then you have Praise Ibuka saying, chase your passion and focus on your dreams, like trying to emphasize what you just said last. And others
Yes.
are saying, nice, wonderful, wow, two laptops. That's great. That's about the laptop we mentioned earlier. And there's awesome cool, right? So thank you very much, Paul Faithful, for coming around. We'll definitely be able to see you at DevFest. If possible, have you
Yes.
speak. If you apply, we can review your speaking application and get to invite people to come and watch you talk. And that's very well.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Trust.
Is that right? Enjoy the rest of your day. Fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. That was Paul Precious. Sorry, Paul Faithful, of course. So he's been a very active member of the community, building project on the side and talking about it. So we saw it fit to spotlight him in the community so everyone gets to know who he is. And we'll keep spotlighting people who are doing quite amazing stuff at a young age and see how far we can do. So don't forget, DevFest is coming up this year, December 3rd, Saturday. We're hoping to get in 1,000 people and above in this year's DevFest. Experts coming over from Owerri, Port Harcourt, Lagos to come and speak at DevFest to engage a network. So we can see how we can build more people who are in tech, and not just Aba, but to able to influence beyond Aba as well. So thank you guys. See you in the next section on GDG Aba. My name is Charles again once again. Bye bye.